Melo going to Cleveland.
Yeah, that's popping up where?
I saw it on YouTube, not YouTube, but if you type Carmelo Anthony in news, it will say, "What about the possibilities of Melo going to Cleveland?"
I just don't think he has it anymore.
Should any team want
it.
Carmelo Anthony?
Blasphemous.
Yes, sir, Carmelo.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Control the Narrative, a podcast where we control the narrative that the media creates. If you're new around here, subscribe to catch our weekly podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And if you're a returner, a subscriber, or better yet, a Control the Narrative member, like this fine gentleman is joining us tonight, we appreciate the members a little more, but we appreciate everybody. It is September 27th right now. Media day has come and gone. Training camp started today. And after a long summer, Carmelo Anthony is not on a roster. I don't think anybody really expected this, and I'm going to get into it in a second, but it's just a weird situation to be in. This is a dude who shot well from the field last year. He was a good shooter from three. He's a good vet leader, and again, we'll get into it in a second, but it's just weird. Like this whole situation is weird, and there's no answer. So if you're watching this or listening to this and you're like, yo, I need to know why this is the situation, we don't have the answer. All we can do is speculate and kind of connect some dots as best we can. So to do that, I'm going to bring on a Control the Narrative vet, Joe, J. Dot. How you feeling?
Man, I was feeling a bit better, man, on this day, man, considering our guy doesn't have a team at the current time. But, it is what it is. Hopefully we can dive in it and figure something out, man, along the way. It's been rough, to say the least.
Yeah, I know. Like I was just saying before we clicked record that, like, I can't believe we're back here. Like, for Melo to come back from that black ball situation, play well in Portland, come back to Portland, play really well, go to LA. He was one of the few guys that did his part last year. And now here we sit, another training camp starts without our guy on a team. And it's just like, how does this keep happening? So, Joe, let's just jump into the shit. Since media day has come and gone, training camp started today, like I mentioned. How did we get here? How are we at this spot?
As Doc, your guess is as good as mine. Like I was telling you before we started airing, I've sat at my brain over the past, 2-3 weeks for the most part, trying to figure out why he hasn't signed. I came up with the first scenario is I think he was pretty much gung-ho with the Knicks getting Mitchell and all the parts fall into place with the players going different teams and three-way deals over that nature. I think he was keen on that to come back home to play. When that fell through, for some reason, he didn't, like you said earlier, he didn't pivot and go a different direction. I don't know what happened behind the scenes or why he didn't make that pivot, but I think he did want to come back home. That's the only reason that I would think in my mind that he waited so long to sign with the team or wanted to sign other than to go back home to the Knicks. I can't think of any other way that's logical in my mind to say I waited this long to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It had to be the Knicks deal. When it fell through, all bets were off.
Yeah, you know what? This offseason, like, I've been talking to people. This offseason was a really weird one in the sense that there were a lot of big names out there for trade or and things along that line. People were available.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell, even Rudy Gobert. Obviously, it was earlier in the offseason, but I think that Rudy Gobert trade really fucked a lot of things up in the sense that Minnesota traded so much for him that Utah wasn't going to get anything less for Donovan Mitchell. That Brooklyn saw that and was like, yo, you want Kevin Durant? You're going to have to give us more than what Utah got for Rudy Gobert. So I think that delayed a lot of things, obviously. And the KD situation didn't get handled right away. The Kyrie situation didn't get handled right away. And then the Mitchell trade didn't happen for so long. Obviously, everyone, like you just said, everyone thought he was coming to the Knicks. And I agree with you. I think Melo was waiting on that. The Knicks were going to trade Obi Toppin in that deal, and that would have opened up the backup four behind Julius Randle for Melo to easily slide in. And I think it would have been a good fit. But when it didn't happen, like, I thought, okay, cool, maybe Melo will take like a day, 2 days, a few days just to like figure out, okay, everybody thought Mitchell was going to the Knicks. It didn't happen. Now let's go to Brooklyn. Let's go to Phoenix. Let's go to Boston. Let's go to all these teams that we heard over the past few weeks and months, and like it just didn't happen. And to me, it's so confusing because it's like, how did we get here? That's how we got here. It's like there were so many big dominoes that needed to fall.
Exactly, man.
Which is why, like, I wasn't freaking out when it was like a month, 2 months into the offseason, and it was like, yo, Melo's still on our team. Like, all right, cool. Well, Mitchell's still in Utah, so like just wait for that. And then it happened.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then Melo still didn't sign anywhere. I'm like, all right, now I actually don't know what the fuck is going on.
Do you think it's more like behind the scenes things like happen with team execs or coaches saying something about Melo again? This label out here about he's this and he's that, or do you think it just? I can't see a team or a coach or whatever saying he's not a good fit for our team. Like that stigma, that label, it has to be gone now. I mean, we know we understand that he's not a good defender. We understand that, but I'm bringing him in, come off the bench. So you know what you're getting when you sign him.
Yeah, I think you have to think that like that label is gone now because you've seen what we've seen the last 3 years in Portland and LA.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. I don't think it's teams are like blackballing him again. I don't know what it is. That's the hard thing. And like you mentioned something I want to bring up again is he wanted to come home to play for the Knicks. Like Melo has openly talked about over the past few years, he's wanted to come home to watch his son play high school basketball.
True.
So like that's probably what he was banking on. Like you said, why not just go to Brooklyn at that point? Like Why not go to Boston where you're a few hours away by car or like a quick under an hour jet ride for Melo or plane ride or some shit like that. So I don't know. I don't think it's definitely not like he's getting blackballed. Like teams don't know what he can do. I don't know. Like Melo obviously has made this decision. You know what I mean? Like he had offers on the table that he could have signed.
Do you think Brooklyn wanted him though?
That's a good question. I think before they signed Markieff Morris, it made way more sense. It made way more sense.
Yep.
But after it, it's like, I mean, I still think he has a role on any team that he goes to.
Fair.
But I don't know. It's just so weird, dude. Like, there's no explanation for this.
There's none, man.
I've
like
had so many memes and shit, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know.
Like I said in the beginning of the show, I've sat and racked my brain over the possible reasons why. Or maybe he didn't play well last year. Maybe he didn't shoot well last year. Maybe he's a bad team locker room guy. None of those things was happening. No. We all have our bad games, good games. But Melo was consistent in the minutes given, right? You give him minutes consistently, he produced, right? So it's fucking crazy, man, that we're here right now, man.
It really, bro, like I'm laughing, but throughout the whole summer, I was like, yo, people are freaking out after a few days, after a week, after a month. I'm like, yo, Mitchell hasn't been traded. And then now, like, it's really, like, I'm laughing just to, like, hide my pain. But another question I have for you, Joe, is kind of along this topic. It is along this topic, but.
Yo, real quick, sorry to interrupt if you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, but just wanted to let you know that we have merch at Control the Narrative, and it's pretty fire. in my opinion. This is the Pixel Melo t-shirt that I'm rocking. Anything from Cuse Melo to New York Melo, Hoodie Melo. On this shirt, we got Scapegoat merch, we got Blackball merch, we got just regular Control merch. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, stickers. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. I think I got my point across. Go check it out. I bet you'll find something you like. Appreciate the support as well. Obviously, the merch sales help us fund these podcast episodes that we get to record every single week. So appreciate you. And back to the show.
Do you believe it's more on the league? Like the question you asked me, do you think it's the league holding them back, or do you think it's Melo just for whatever reason being like, yo, I'm either not ready he's ready because he's been working out, like all these Berkeley videos and pictures and shit we see. Do you think it's him just being like, yo, I'm not signing right now, or I don't like any of these offers or whatever? Like, do you think it was his decision, or do you think it's like a lack of options? Like no team is hitting up being like, yo, this is what we want.
I firmly don't believe that it's a Melo not wanting to be in training camp at the start of the season with my guys. I feel like he wants to be there with his team, his guys, from day one, right? You want to feel you want to start the bond, that camaraderie, like they do like last season with the Lakers. Brown brought him in, they did their workout before the training camp started. I think he wants that. So I think it's more of a option thing. Like the options, once the Knicks deal fell through, the lack of options started to dwindle. I don't know what the other case may be. The options have died down to, you know what I'm saying? I think it's a lack of options right now, man. And I said it in the chat room, one of your chat rooms, that we're gonna your Discord. We're gonna go through the whole 2019 season before Portland picked him up, where he was just working out. Then somebody got hurt, whatever case may be, and somebody signed him. I feel like if we don't get signed in the next week, 2 tops, we into that stage. It was sad to say. It's freaking pitiful, man, that we here right now, considering what this man has done over the past 3 years to change his game, to be humble, and yet still get shitted on.
Yeah, I agree with you in terms of like he wants to be with the guys from day one and building that camaraderie and like on a team, because if we remember the OKC days, he got traded there a day before media day or training camp, and that was big because it didn't allow them to really implement him in the offense, and they never did. Like they literally never did. So I know like he wouldn't want to be in a situation like that again. And like fair point, he's a different player now. Like that was 5 years ago, so fair enough.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to a certain extent whether you're the star player or the 6th man or the 8th guy on the bench. Like you still want to be involved in the team strategy.
Absolutely.
Overall. Yep. And like, yo, I know that I'm gonna play 15 minutes a night. I know I'm gonna play 30 minutes a night. I know I'm gonna, get 20 shots a game, whatever it is. It's hard to do that when you're just kind of thrown into it. And that's why that first year in Portland was so crazy, was because he just got thrown into that shit. And it's like, yo, Melo, figure it out. And he did.
Yep.
He won player of the week within 2 weeks. But now it's like he's older and like, again, he's still skilled as fuck. And like, we could talk about that all day, but I think it's more on him. I don't think he's being blackballed. I don't think he didn't have offers. I just think for whatever reason, he just didn't decide to sign. Like I think, all these reports came out. Boston was interested, Brooklyn was interested, LA was interested to a certain extent. Like we heard teams that were interested, and like again, the whole Knicks thing, we keep talking about that, but like that was the thing that you just felt it, that like if they trade for Mitchell, Melo's coming home. And it didn't happen, and he is making a decision to start this year this way, and I don't understand why. I think like it has to do with his son again. Maybe it's a Brooklyn thing, maybe it's a New York thing.
That's my next question. Do you think that he thought about it in his back of his mind as well, is about the whole going to a new team yet again this year, as opposed to, I think it played a role in his decision making as well.
For sure. And like, you're looking at Phoenix right now, and we'll get into like, what's next in a minute, but for sure. Like, for sure, he thought about all that shit, or else, like, maybe he would have signed with Boston. Maybe he would have signed with Brooklyn. Maybe he would have signed with Phoenix or Miami, which still makes sense. Miami still makes the most sense. All they did this offseason was lose PJ Tucker. Like, it still makes the most sense when we look at things.
Yeah. Like, you know what I did, though? Like, today, I was on NBA.com looking at the free agents who signed here recently, I guess. I got 5 names just off the top. Just keep it 100. I'm gonna give you 5 names. You tell me.
I think I know one of the guys who's gonna be on here.
You tell me if Melo is better or can play at a higher level than these guys right here. I'm gonna give you the 6 names, one by one. Markieff Morris, DeAndre Jordan, Jermichael Green, Nicholas Batum, Kent Bazemore, and Taj Gibson.
I knew Bazemore would make an appearance, your boy.
Now, would you take any of these guys over Melo right now?
Especially when you consider that Melo's getting paid veterans minimum salary?
Yes.
It makes zero sense. But Joe, to you, like, that's why I think it has to be on Melo, because there's no way that teams are like, fuck that, we don't want Melo for vet men. We'd rather have Ken unless I'm missing something.
That's a great point.
Unless I'm missing something. I like, again, none of us know. I wish I could be like, yo, here's what happened and here's the deal. I'm not fucking Woj, and like, we have connections and shit, but it's not like, yo, what's going on and all this shit. So that's where I'm coming from, where it's like, there's no way that after these last 3 years of, like, to your point, him humbling himself and coming off the bench and not finishing games and all this stuff, that a team would look at that and be like, can't like, come on.
100%, man.
That's where I'm coming from. But again, man, maybe not. Maybe it's like teams where, I don't know. I really don't even know. But
do you think he signs in the next couple of weeks? Find a team, honestly, heart to hearts.
I
would say at this point, bro, listen. If you waited this long, or whatever happened this long when they happened, barring injury from other players, that's the only reason I can see him finding a team.
That's what I was about to say. I think if he was going to sign with the team in the next week, he would have done it by now. If he was going to sign with the team in the next 2 weeks, he would have done it by now. Like, again, maybe it's like, yo, he's going to Phoenix for Jay Crowder. Maybe the Lakers are still working on a trade, or like some weird thing like that none of us know right now. Because I was talking to my boy Chris, shout out Chris, today, and he was like, yo, do you remember the Portland thing? Like, that came out of nowhere.
True story.
No one
expected that.
Nobody was like, yo, Melo's going to go to the Blazers. Nobody thought that. There wasn't a single peep about that. And then randomly one day we got that Woj tweet, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, he's back. So, like, it could be another situation like that for sure, where it's like, yo, Melo signs with Phoenix or Melo signs in Miami, but like, why wouldn't it have happened already?
Exactly, man.
So, Joe, all right, let's get to this question, because we're kind of talking about it already.
All right, last interruption, because if you're watching or listening to the podcast for this long, you probably fuck with us. And if you fuck with us, you'll probably fuck with all the perks that you get from being a Control the Narrative member, whether that's access to our invite-only Discord where we're talking basketball all the time, or opportunities to join the next episode of Control. So whenever we need a guest, I go in our Discord, I say, yo, who's free? Who wants to hop on the next episode? And I pick from there. You get 20% off merch forever, and then you also get member-exclusive merch, all by being a member. Tiers start at $2 a month. So if you fuck with us, go check out a membership, CTRLthenarrative.com, and I will see you in the Discord. All right, back to the show for good.
What do you think is next? Like, from where it's September 27th, teams are practicing, guys are gelling, like, they're trying to figure out their strategy and how they're going to attack this year. what do you think happens here? Like where does Melo go from here? You think you just wait for an injury, like you were saying?
That's possible.
An opportunity. I'm not going to say injury.
Yeah, opportunity. That's a good way of putting it. I don't think the Knicks deal is dead in this situation. I'm not sure the Knicks are keen on keeping Julius Randle. I think he still can be traded. I keep thinking in the back of my mind that he still can be traded. I don't think the Lakers thing is dead either.
They suck. Their roster, I was looking at their roster. The Lakers roster is bad.
Yeah, it's bad. I don't that Russ deal. It's not gonna work out again. But hey, it is what it is.
And the pieces don't fit there.
No.
Like
who they get? They got Lonnie Walker, Thomas Bryant, Pat Bev, and
Anderson.
Yes, yeah. There's no shooting there, man.
It's weird, man. It's
weird.
Roster.
Yeah,
that's one thing where it's like maybe they make a deal with like Utah in the next week or two, and like that opens up a spot for Melo. But keep going.
But then if that happens, he's pretty much in the same position. Maybe about 4 or 5 games better.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really a good situation to be in.
Yeah.
Ideally, at this point, man, I would love to see more Knicks, man. I really would love to see them come back home to the Knicks and play. But I just don't see it as a team is currently constructed without making some trades.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Because that was the whole point for us as Melo fans of the Mitchell trade, where it's
exactly.
Like, we love Mitchell, but like, and I do love Obi, but if they traded Obi again, that opened up that spot. If they, for whatever reason, trade Randall, that opens up a spot. I just think his son playing basketball in Queens is such like an important thing that he was literally gonna come back last summer before LeBron called him and was like, "Yo, get your ass to LA. Like, yes. I need you." And Mel was like, "All right, fine." But like, why not just have signed with Brooklyn before Markieff Morris?
Yes. Yeah. Because Kyrie and KD was on board with that.
Yeah, because they signed Markieff Morris September 7th, and Donovan Mitchell got traded when?
That was early in the month.
Wait.
That was
September 1st. It was September 1st. So Melo had like 5 days to sign before Morris.
Yeah, man. If you really sit back and think about it, man, I think him being back home was really important to him for his son. I think, like you said earlier, he waited. He's banking on that. You think about it too. He had a dinner with Dolan over the summer. I think that was talking about that as well. And Dolan talking about getting Mitchell. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And I think Melo was banking on that, man. When it fell apart. The Knicks fucked up though, by the way.
How?
I gave them what they wanted for Mitchell, man, and Bill with Mitchell, Jalen Brunson.
RJ.
You had the RJ Barrett and the big guy.
Mitch.
I like him a lot.
Mitch.
Yeah. You bring Melo in for that veteran leadership off the bench, man. They'd have been all right, man. Bring him back home.
Joe, we started off this podcast saying like, yo, we don't know what happened. And if you're looking for us for answers, but I think that's the best explanation. That he was banking on this Knicks deal. He wanted to come back home to New York and be with his son.
I think so, man.
Like he promised him. But then the question is like, why not just go to Brooklyn then? You're still in New York.
I think by that time, like they signed Morris. Now what? They're gonna bring him on?
But there was 5 days. So the Jazz trade, September 1st, it was posted on ESPN, and Markieff Morris was September 7th. Oh, fuck. No, that's when they made it official. All right, Joe, this is it. They signed Markieff Morris August 30th. And Mitchell got traded September 1st. So 2 days later.
Yeah. That and ain't no minutes there. What you gonna do? You gonna send the bench? Nah, I ain't want to do that.
I
Morris signing.
I think we just cracked the code. I
So
think
now what?
I think that was it, though. I think so Melo was banking on the Knicks trade for
100%.
Mitchell.
Yep.
And then by that time they had signed Morris, so there wasn't a role in New York or Brooklyn for him. And at that point he was probably like, fuck it. Okay, so what's next? So now what, like,
bro, man, I have no freaking idea.
does he tell his son, hey, Kyan, I know that like last year I was out in LA. I'm gonna go to Miami now, or I'm going to Phoenix. Like, you gotta wait another year. Like, who knows if his son's gonna play? He'll probably play college basketball, but
true.
Who knows how many years he has to watch his son play? You know what I mean? Obviously, 4 in high school. If he plays in college, I don't know how many years he's gonna play in college.
Yeah,
he makes NBA, but I think I think we just cracked the code.
I think so too. I think man, I got to see Melo this summer too. By the way, I was Cayenne had the AAU tournament here at Kansas City at the Hy-Vee Arena, and me and my daughter and my lady went up there to watch his game. And Melo was courtside.
Nice.
It was that moment. I was like, damn, that's Melo right there. Yeah, it got a picture and everything. You know what I'm saying? My first time just like being that close.
Yeah.
So that was a cool moment for me, man. But you can just tell the passion, and he shows off when his son is playing. He's like a regular dad fan, cheer for his son. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I think he was, like we said, keep saying he's banking on that Mitchell deal going through, man, coming back home.
Okay, so this is gonna be like the 4th time we brought this up. Is it just waiting for an opportunity in New York? Is it not playing?
That's not an option.
Only he knows his priority. So if his priority is like, yo, I don't care, I just want to watch my son play. Like, I wasn't even supposed to be in the NBA the past 3 years. I was supposed to be out of the league. Maybe that's his priority. If it's another convo with his son, like, that's probably a tough convo. Like, Cayenne is probably gonna be like, hey, dad, go or whatever, but deep down he wants fucking his dad there and
True.
Watching him and to have his dad support. So I think it just comes down to his priorities, man, and like it's kind of out of our hands, but it's like out of our convos at this point. It's really just, if he wants to prioritize that, he'll do it, and if he wants to go and play another year and finish out his career or play 2 more, like, who knows? But that fucking, I blame all this shit on Danny Ainge, the fucking president of the goddamn Jazz. Like, the Knicks trade offer was way better than Cleveland's.
What was the offer again?
I mean, there was a bunch of things. Apparently, early in the summer, they offered RJ, Mitch, and like a few first-round picks or something. Then it was like quickly Obi. I don't think Grimes was involved. It was like,
they didn't want Grimes involved in the trade. That was one of the hangups.
Yeah, I think it was like quickly Obi, maybe like Deuce McBride and a few first-round picks. At one point, they offered RJ and like a first-round pick, or it was like the Knicks threw a lot of offers at them, man. And I think they just needed New York to pay the New York tax, because like they were sending Mitchell home, and like Mitchell talked about, like, he thought he was coming to the Knicks and shit.
Yeah.
And that hurts that much more. Like, in the moment, I was like, all right, fuck it. You know, if the Knicks don't trade for him, whatever, Melo will go to Phoenix, or he'll go to Miami or LA or whatever the fuck the case is. But damn.
But maybe it's a blessing in disguise, man. Because, I mean,
right after, it's like, actually, I don't know about that.
No, it's not. Because I really wanted, over the summer, man. I mean, I was against it. We had one of our pals for one of our last 4 or 5 pals. I was like, he's not coming back to the Knicks. He's not coming back to the Knicks. But I was thinking about it over the summer, man, and seeing how the summer played out, and then hearing about the Mitchell trade, I was on board with Melo come back home and play with Donovan Mitchell. That's gonna be better for him as he goes up the league.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, is it just like a farewell tour at this point? Like, is it just like
like today, for example, I was coming home from work and I listened to NBA Today on XM Radio with Justin Turnerme and Eddie Johnson. So I called him up. I had the question about Melo. I finally get through like 45 minutes later. I'm like, can you guys ask me this one question? Is Melo getting signed this before the training camp? I mean, is Melo getting signed a week or two in the training camp, and why he's not signed? They were shocked. Eddie Johnson and Justin Turnerme were shocked to see that Melo hasn't been signed. They would have thought that he got a deal by this time over the summer. Like everybody's in shock, man, to why he's not signed. After he humbled himself, willing to come off the bench, play his role, yet you still one of the guys that don't have a deal.
So it's got to be his decision.
It's got to be, man. Think about it. It's got to be. Like what else can we do?
Dude,
you played your role already. You are a 6-7 man role off the bench, 6 man off the bench. This is what you do.
Dude, I think that timeline makes so much sense. It was just Morris got signed on the 30th. 2 days later, Mitchell got traded, and there wasn't room for Melo on the Knicks or the Nets.
Yeah.
But then, like, again, he could have went to Boston, apparently.
Yeah. And then when we think about that, I think about, yeah, he could have at this point, this late in the game, yeah.
Especially when Gallinari got injured.
Right.
And Gallinari tore his ACL when? Let's see the date.
8 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago?
2 the day after the Mitchell trade.
Then Robert Williams was out too, the big man. He's out for 2 months.
Joe, this timeline makes so much sense. Now that we're putting the pieces together, it makes so much sense.
And people was talking about him signing with, like, over the last 2 weeks, Cleveland is popping up.
Where?
Melo going to Cleveland.
Yeah, that's popping up where?
I saw on YouTube, not YouTube, but if you type Carmelo Anthony in news, it will say, "What about the possibilities of Melo going to Cleveland?"
Oh, it's probably just speculation.
Yeah, speculation. Yeah.
Yeah, would Carmelo make sense for the Cavs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fear the Sword. Who the fuck is fearthesword.com? Oh, it's SB Nation.
But which I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go to the Cavs, man. I mean,
they're good, but they got a lot of pieces over there.
Yeah, they do, and they really, really young.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, man. It's wild, man. Like, again, seeing him over these past few years do his thing and come back and, like, prove everybody fucking wrong.
Exactly,
in terms
man.
of how he plays, in terms of the role he's willing to accept, in terms of, you know, his veteran leadership and how he is in the locker room and all of the teammates talking nothing but highly about him.
And the fans love him, man. Whether he played, Portland love Melo. Lakers fucking love Melo, man.
Great point.
Loved him, man.
And just to be here, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe we're back here. Like,
right. Exactly. You think about how the fuck did we get here? After this past 3 years, how did we get here?
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it's got to be a self-inflicted wound. Melo wanted to dictate his terms. I can't, like you said earlier, I can't see a team not wanting to bring him in.
Yeah.
That's to me. Yeah.
That's got to be it, man. And it sucks. It's like, it sucks as fans. That's what it sucks as. Like, for Melo, he gets to spend time around his kid, so I'm sure he's hyped.
And then I'm not, I usually be hyped for the NBA season to start. I'm not as hyped this year, man. I don't want to get the lead. I don't want to get the lead pass this year. For what reason? My man ain't playing, so I'm not getting it.
It feels like that Black Ball season where, like, I remember I was at the Knicks Mavericks game. It was KP's first game back, and that was the night that it got announced. But I remember, like, that was the first night I was excited about basketball of the season. And it was, like, fairly early in the season. It was almost halfway over, but. Like, the only reason I was excited was because we got a chance to boo the shit out of Kristaps because he requested the trade and all this shit. And then, like, that same night, Melo got signed, and I was like, holy shit, like, basketball's back. And I just hope we get that feeling.
I know, man. It's not. I'm down right now at basketball time, man. NBA has got me on a downward issue right now, trying to figure out what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks.
Same. But as long as we have the Yankees to root for in the meantime, we're good, right, Joe?
True story. I'll go with that. Judge is on a tear, man. Jesus Christ.
We're still waiting on that 61, though. I'm going to control the narrative after this, too. But that was a good combo. Honestly, I don't want to say I wasn't expecting much, but like I didn't even know where it would go. But I think like us piecing the puzzle together like that, I think it makes so much sense. That time,
a little bit of clarification, man.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Joe, my guy, as always, great podcast, and I appreciate you for taking time out. But before I let you go, I want to give you the floor and some time to control a narrative. It doesn't have to be Melo related. It doesn't have to be basketball related. It doesn't even have to be sports related. So if you have one, I'll give you the floor and let you control the narrative.
Yes, sir. I do have one. As a matter of fact, I want to control a narrative that's not sport related. It's weather related. My lady's parents are down in the eye of the hurricane in Florida. Shout out to Barb and Terry down in Sarasota, Bradenton area in Florida. I'm sorry, Venice, Florida. Hurricane's going to hit over the next couple of days, man. And they bracing for the storm. They boarded their house up and got all necessary generators in their house, man. I'm just sending positive vibes and prayers to them and their neighbors to not get hit with those high winds and hurricane and rain. I want just the good Lord to bless them to not get all that icky bad weather, man. Keep them safe over the next couple of days.
Barb and Terry, you said?
Barb and Terry.
Barb and Terry.
Yes, shout out to them. I miss you guys. I love you. I'm praying for you guys. Me and Ryan and Brianna praying for you guys, man. We got you. Prayers up.
Respect. Sending prayers. Are they staying in their house or they?
Yeah, they decided to stay home and board their house up, with shutters up on the windows and get the generators going in the garage, and so they're gonna do it that way.
Word. Barb and Terry. Sending prayers. Stay safe throughout that shit. That shit's always scary as fuck. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like it's always something going on in this world. Like
absolutely, man.
So hope they're good with that shit. And I know it's supposed to be crazy the next few days. So
absolutely.
Hopefully it's weaker because a lot of times that shit happens. Like everyone's expecting.
Weekends out, yeah.
So hopefully that shit happens. It takes like a different path or some shit.
Hoping, man. Yep.
The narrative I want to control real quick is sports related. It's about Aaron Judge and this pursuit of 61 home runs. I just want to say to all the pitchers facing him, stop being pussies. I just got a notification while we were recording this that Aaron Judge walked 4 times tonight.
I saw 3 last time I looked. It was 3. Now it's 4. Wow.
It's 4 now in Toronto. Yeah. And I get it, like, not wanting to be a part of history in that. And, like, you're the one that gave up the home run. But, like, somebody's going to be. You know what I mean? And, like, not like, oh, be the one who gave up the home run to Aaron Judge. Like, no, come on, bro. But, like, if you think you're that good at pitching, throw fucking strikes and let the guy hit. Like, he has a great eye. So, like, he's going to do what's best for the team. And, like, him getting on base with a walk is better than him swinging at bad pitches trying to get this home run. And he's been trying to get this shit for a week now.
Yep.
He's been at 60 for a week. I went to the game on Thursday night.
Oh, no shit. Nice.
I was in left field. I'm like, yo, I'm about to be a millionaire, all this shit.
Exactly.
And he walked like 3 times. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like the crowd was booing the other pitchers and shit. So like throw the fucking ball over the plate. Let the guy, not let him, but like if you think you're better than him and like be competitive, like try to get him out, try to help your team win. Don't try to put someone on base because you don't want to be the guy who threw the pitch that Aaron Judge hit for the 61st home run. Like it's fucking annoying and it's just not fun as a Yankee fan and as an Aaron Judge fan. Watching games over the past week, just seeing ball four, like over and over when we all want to see history. Like people have been tuning into his every at bat for the last 7 days. I can't imagine the amount of stress and anxiety he's going through trying to do all this shit and have everyone on his back and then like not getting pitches to hit, it's probably frustrating as fuck. So throw the fucking ball over the plate.
Yeah, stop being pussies, man. Damn.
Throw the fucking ball over the plate.
Please, man. Exactly, B.
So yeah, man.
Nice. Respect.
Dope. Well, again, bro, it's always a pleasure coming on speaking to you. Again, I swear, like, anytime it's two people and, you know, Kenny dropped out today. Shout out Kenny.
Shout out Kenny. Hope everything all right, B.
Anyway, my guy, we missed you tonight.
Absolutely.
I always like, all right, cool. Maybe we could get like 20, 25 minutes. That's a good episode. We're at like almost 40 right now. So we could sit here and talk for fucking days. One day when you get your ass out to New York, we'll do that for sure.
Yo, you know what? I was talking to my man at work. I'm coming to New York one of these days soon, B. I'm definitely hitting you up. We gonna hang out, B. Fact.
Once
100%.
Melo signs with a team, whenever they're playing at MSG, whether it's the Knicks or another team, and like I say this to like DeMar on Twitter and like mad people, like there needs to be like a control section bought out in MSG just for all of us to watch.
Man, that'd be dope, man. That'd be dope.
So Joe, appreciate you as always, my guy. Have a great
absolutely, man.
And we'll just see what the fuck happens, man.
Yo, stay prayed up. Melo, get a deal, B. Absolutely.
Yes,
all right, one.